I've recorded it.
Right then, you seem like a professional production outfit. My name's Welch. You can call me Welch. And obviously I'm a commissioning editor, and I'm here to have a look at your proposal and see whether or not we can get this film made, whether or not we can fund you to do this. So if you could tell me a little bit about your idea and the title, please.
Well, our title's called Raven Calls. We came up with this because throughout the production it's about a girl called Raven, and so we thought it fit really well, even though we did come up with a few other options.
Okay. Alright, so Raven Calls. Why is she calling?
Because her story is that if you go into the woods and you say her name 3 times, then she will appear and start to sing a lullaby. So that's her sort of like her call, that she's singing a lullaby.
Why would you go into the woods and say her name 3 times?
It's a game that is her story, that if you play this game she appears.
Okay, and how do people know about this game?
It was a news story. The journalist in the story finds this news story about this girl, and it's a legend that if you go and you say her name, she appears.
So a bit of an urban legend.
Yeah.
Little bit of a, sounds like a little bit of a link to the whole kind of clown scares thing recently as well, with a kind of almost like something which becomes perhaps bigger than it is by other people worried about it. Yeah. Okay, so tell me a little bit about the genre and the overall film. What we expect to see in the overall film.
The genre is psychological thriller and horror sort of thing, because we thought that'd fit in with what's most popular with our age group at the minute. The whole film's about like what Beth said about the urban legend and what happens if you call a name and things.
Yeah. Okay, and what will happen in the beginning, middle and end of the film?
A young journalist hears about the story of Raven, and the story starts in a therapist's office, so it's sort of flash forward to what has happened, so she's speaking to a therapist, and it then flashes to her in the woods with her friends, going to try and find Raven, see if there's any truth to her story, and it sort of cuts between the 2 scenes of being in the therapist's office and being in the woods with her friends to when Raven appears. And then it ends with her friends being taken because they don't play the game properly.
Okay.
And it ends with her back in the therapist's office saying, you know, was it just a game sort of thing.
So why is she in the therapist's office?
Because it was quite a traumatic experience seeing her friends be taken by this ghost that suddenly appears when she didn't think it would, because she thought it was just a story.
Okay. How are you going to show, what are you going to show in the first couple of minutes?
The opening sort of shots are like a therapist's office, so a desk with a therapist at one side, patients at the other side of it, and the camera sort of pans through the room to them sat at the desk, and them exchanging dialogue. Then it cuts. It cuts to the journalist looking at a news article on the computer about what's happened and the girl and her story, and then it cuts to being in the woods with her friends.
Okay, so it cuts from that office. How are you going to make it look like a psychologist's office? Where are you going to use? What locations?
I guess we could rather use maybe like a schoolroom, but one of them like maybe an office or something, or in someone's house if we like made it so we don't show the bits of the house, but just bits of the room, so it kind of looks more formal.
Yeah. So a couple of places, if you were to use somewhere in school, you might want to look at the conference room, which is up in the admin block. You might want to speak to Mr. Knowles if you can use his office, even where he might sometimes do interviews or something like that. Because obviously, then I'm just thinking about in terms of the formality of the environment. So you might want to just give that some thought, I think, in terms of making that realistic. Who's going to play who?
Amy is going to play the therapist.
Okay.
I am going to play the
She looks like a therapist, that's fine, yes.
I'm going to play the journalist. Jess is going to play Raven.
Right.
And 2 of my friends from my drama group are going to play the journalist's 2 friends.
Okay, so we've got a bit of a kind of, so it's more than just a game. No one is afraid of the dark, they're afraid of what's inside it. Good taglines about those. So what if you're doing a story, Stupid Little Ghost Story is made to scare children to behave. Give me an idea of kind of what it's going to look like, and I'm thinking in terms of the sort of colour palette, in terms of any special effects, anything like that, the titles, what it's going to sound like, and what, you know, is it going to be a fast-paced opening, is it going to be a slower-paced opening, what kind of things?
In the therapist's office, the lighting's going to be quite dark to create mystery, because the therapist doesn't actually know what happened. And then when they're in the woods, it's going to be filmed by the journalist and her friends, so it's sort of like Paranormal Activity, Blair Witch sort of thing. It's going to be, the cuts are going to be quite quick to make it seem like what happened in the woods was over really quickly. And it all was really confusing.
Can I make a suggestion? I think you should use a sound bridge going over into a voiceover. So, you know, when the person's talking to the therapist,
He's going over the clip of them in the forest.
exactly, she continues talking, and then it gives you a chance as well to come back to some cutaways of them sat there. Okay. Okay. Sound and music. What
Well, one of the main things is the lullaby, because that's what gets her to sleep to stop the game.
Okay.
And so we're going to play that quite a bit of the throughout the clip, because it's also going to be in our titles.
Yeah, when the titles come on at the end, because that's where we've decided to place them, when that comes up, the last line of the lullaby that we choose, or one line in particular, will play over the top of that title.
Okay. So I've got an idea of kind of, so it's going to start with an opening scene, and then you're going to sort of finish the 2 or 3 minutes with the title sequence, or is that right? Or is it going to come on the screen as the people are talking? Like,
well, what we was deciding so far was we can have the main title, you know, the Ravenclaws or whatever we decide to go with. That's going to be the end, but during like the start of it, we might have like names of who's in the production. Like,
coming up over the screen while they're talking, sort of in a quite unobtrusive way.
Yeah.
Okay, I like the idea. I think it's got a lot to it. Like I say, I think the main thing really will be in terms of kind of how you create that sense of horror thriller. I think the therapist, it might be worth having a look at kind of, you know, even just a little bit of a job description about what makes a good therapist. Okay, how people react sometimes to stuff like that. You know, sometimes they resent being judged or feeling like they're being judged or something like that. But equally, the therapist has to kind of quite often ask some questions, has to kind of hold themselves back a little bit, but in terms of how you show that. In terms of the shots in the woods, when are you planning on filming that? As in time of day?
Sort of afternoon, early evening sort of thing, especially in winter because it gets dark quite early.
Okay, so you could have some quite good shots of sort of cold breath in the air and stuff like that. Yeah.
Also, if we have to, we've done some research and we know how to put like filters on, so it could like, if we have to, we could use like night vision, so if it is like at night, to maybe add an effect or so. Good stuff.
Yeah, it sounds like a great idea. I think, like I said, the main thing would be just having a look at locations, doing a bit of location scouting, a bit of practice, so you can kind of really think about how you set up those shots, how maybe you set up the therapist situation for it to be really uncomfortable. Almost like, I don't know how you want to approach it, but almost like we're leading the audience to not believe this girl. You know, or even though the therapist might not show it, that might be the implication. In terms of who it's going to appeal to?
15 plus for the death and the scenes that some people under 15 might find upsetting or disturbing.
It's going to kind of appeal to the audience just because the film is entertaining for the generation, because that's kind of like what they're into at the minute, and it's kind of meant to relate to the horror genre of like horror games and everything, because that's quite popular at the minute, so like Outlast and Slender and everything.
Okay. Good. Of course, the only issue about the having the age 15 is, I think probably your target age range is around the 12 to 13. However, 12 to 13, I would say to about 17, 18 or something like that. However, you know, it might be one of those films which people lots of 12-year-olds watch it when it comes on TV or whatever. Okay. Yeah, sounds good. Sounds like you've got a good plan there. Do you think it will appeal more to one gender than another?
No, to probably enjoy it.
Okie dokie. All right. Well, I'm pleased to say that I'm happy to commission this film, and hopefully you'll make an award-winning piece, which will make all of us lots of money, and you lot very famous.